My dear viewers, hello and welcome to a new episode of Africa Today. My name is Amal Mukhtar. We're going to go today through certain issues that concerns the African continent. A short break and I'm going to be back with you.
نحن لدينا مصير مشترك.
مصر تسلمت الرئاسة الدورية للاتحاد الإفريقي لعام 2019 وتتطلع كعادتها دوما للتعبير عن شواغل الشعوب الإفريقية الشقيقة الرامية لتحقيق الاستقرار والتقدم ودفع عجلة التنمية قدما. إذا كنتم ترغبون في تغيير وجه القارة الأفريقية فالاتحاد الافريقي كقيادة تستطيع ان تعمل وتدرس بشكل مركزي لمشروع عملاق لبناء بنية اساسية على مستوى القارة. انا اتصور ان الامن والاستقرار استثمار. اذا لم تستقر هذه القارة والامن فيها بمعدلاته عالية هذا الامر سينعكس بالسلب علينا كلنا.
Welcome back. The International Criminal Court have requested a warrant arrest for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli Defense Minister also, and 3 of the Hamas chiefs. We're going to know more in the following report.
South Africa's presidency has welcomed the recent announcement by the International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor, Karim Khan, stating he has requested arrest warrants for Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli Defense Minister, and 3 senior Hamas leaders over alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity. A statement from South Africa's President Ramaphosa's office said that the law must be applied equally to all in order to uphold the international rule of law, ensure accountability for those that commit crimes, and protect the rights of victims. South Africa has been a vocal advocate for Palestinian rights and has recently filed a case against Israel at the International Court of Justice, accusing it of genocide, a charge that Israel denies. The move by the ICC aligns with South Africa's stance on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, underscoring its commitment to international justice. Both Israeli and Hamas representatives have dismissed the allegations. In Gaza, the response was more subdued. Sami Abu Zaid, a resident displaced from Gaza City, expressed a desire for international resolution that address the core issues. He highlighted the plight of ordinary Palestinians who suffer despite not being affiliated with Hamas. He added that the ICC judges will now review the evidence presented by prosecutor Karim Khan to determine whether arrest warrants for Netanyahu, Gallant and the Hamas leaders can be issued.
Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Dr. Milad Momtaz, foreign and political affairs expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Well, Doctor, how did you see the request by the International Criminal Court concerning the request arrest warrants for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli defense ministers and three of the Hamas leaders?
Okay, first of all, let me quote Mr. Karim Khan, the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, as he said a couple of days ago in an interview with Christiane Amanpour, the chief correspondent of CNN. Quote, he said, no one is above the law. And I think this statement is a very bold one, a very crucial one at the same time. Secondly, okay, why the International Criminal Court has made that move now, the timing, concerning the timing. I believe they have been studying the entire situation for a month now. And this study has to be very accurate because they have been gathering evidence for a month now about the entire situation in Gaza and the atrocities that have been committed by the occupation forces in Gaza for the last 7.5 months. And I think they have reached a very solid conclusion that it's time to take an action against the occupation forces. And there is another crucial point I'd like to clarify concerning the ICC situation now. We need to differentiate between, okay, the situation of Hamas and the situation of the Israeli government. Concerning Hamas, by international law, Hamas is resisting occupation forces, and this is very crucial. And this is, by the way, according to international law, is allowed. Of course, we are very much against killing innocent people, but I'm talking about the legal situation, okay, concerning Hamas. That's very crucial. But when it comes to Israel, they have no right, by all measures, to commit such inhumane atrocities against innocent people, no matter what. And they have been using the same excuse again and again of self-defense, which is very much unacceptable by all means. Going back to Mr. Karim Khan, I think that is a very bold move on his side and the ICC. That's unprecedented by all means. This has never happened before. And that's why the actions are coming from everywhere around the world, either for or against the situation. So I believe, once again, this move has been, you know, there in the horizon for months, and we have been waiting for that kind of move to happen for a long time now.
Yes. So, Doctor, how do you see now nowadays all parties are putting pressure on Israel, like, for example, this decision by the prosecutor Karim Khan for the International Criminal Court concerning Israel, and also Egypt last week decided to join the South Africa in its suit in the International Criminal Court concerning Israel, the genocide suit case. Also today, Ireland, Norway and Spain recognized the state of Palestine. How did you follow these news?
Actually, you know, the pressures are mounting on Israel for the last, let's say, 5 to 7 months now. The most crucial question is how Israel will react to the mounting pressures, because Israel has been relying very heavily, or I would say solely, on one supporter that Israel knows by heart that they will support them no matter what. And of course, we're talking about the United States of America. Okay. However, you know, there's something else which is very crucial, and you mentioned in your question about the example of Egypt. In my mind, Egypt has been trying to pressure Israel to be rational in their actions towards the Palestinians for 7.5 months. Egypt has been sending out different messages, direct and indirect, to Tel Aviv. Please, you need to consider your actions very thoroughly. And Egypt, at the same time, my understanding goes like what? They have been studying, I'm talking about Cairo, has been studying different scenarios to tackle the situation. And then we have come to the point, after we have realized that Israel doesn't want to listen to anyone but themselves, that after they have started the what so-called the limited operation in Rafah, Egypt has come to a very solid conclusion that we have to take a very obvious, direct, crystal clear action against Tel Aviv. That's why Egypt has decided to join forces with South Africa in their case against Israel concerning genocidal action they have been taking in Gaza. So my understanding that what Egypt and the actions taken by Egypt, okay, concerning this, joining South Africa, is not surprising in my mind. I don't see it as surprising. Egypt has been preparing for this for a long time. And I believe that Egypt has other measures and other scenarios which are very much ready to be taken at the moment. Concerning, the 3 European countries that they have decided to recognize the state of Palestine today,
Yes.
these are more and more pressures being exerted on Tel Aviv. These countries around the world, they want to send Tel Aviv a crystal clear, as I said, message that stop it. Please stop the bloodshed. It's time actually to stop all of the atrocities and all wrong deeds that you have been doing. I think this is very clear. The most important question for now is that, will they listen? Will they listen? We've been waiting for that answer for now.
Yes, yes. So, Doctor, also the pivotal role that is played by Egypt on daily basis from the start of the crisis in Gaza Strip, and of course years ago, Egypt had a historical pivotal role with Palestine and the Palestinian cause. How do you evaluate what Egypt is doing, and how the Egyptians and the Egyptian state and the government is helping the Palestinians in Gaza Strip?
I think no one doubts the real intentions of Egyptians. We have been wholeheartedly supporting the quest of Palestinians, defending their rights, their deeply rooted rights, for 76 years now,
yes,
or even, I believe, more than 76 years, because the whole story started before 1948. So we've been doing this, and no one can argue or debate the Egyptian role by all means. And if we go back, we talk about the recent events now since October 7th, Egypt has been trying very hard to work simultaneously in different directions. One of the most important directions in my mind is humanitarian aid. That is an unwavering thing to us as Egyptians. We have been trying to get humanitarian aid, the convoys, into Gaza. And recently we've been hearing some weird stuff coming from Tel Aviv. They keep on saying that, you see, it's the Egyptians' fault. It's not our fault not allowing in the humanitarian aid into Gaza. And that's pretty weird. I don't think that anyone in the world in his or her right mind believes this. By all means, it is a big lie. Everyone can see how much we have been doing to help humanitarian aid into Gaza. And of course, statistically speaking, between 65 to 70% of humanitarian aid, that's coming from Egypt. So that's very well known. That's when it comes to the humanitarian issue. Politically speaking, we have been mediating, the different parties, and I think a couple of days ago, a round of negotiation finished a couple of days ago, and it was in Cairo here. So, which means that we have been trying sincerely to be an honest broker, and we are an honest broker in the entire formula. This is actually politically speaking, internationally speaking, and that's another crucial issue.
Yes.
We have been encouraging the international community, please, you need to step into this.
Yes.
Okay, you have to take action against what's going on. And that's why, let me go back to your first question about why siding with South Africa nowadays.
Yes. Thank you very much for your valuable information, Dr. Milad Momtaz, foreign and political affairs expert. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Now we proceed with our episode as the Nigerian army has reported the successful rescue of hundreds of hostages, mainly children and women who were been held captives by Boko Haram extremists in the northeastern Nigeria. Details on the following report.
The Nigerian army said that hundreds of hostages, mostly children and women, who were held captive for months or years by Boko Haram extremists in northeastern Nigeria, have been rescued from a forest enclave and handed over to authorities. Major General Ken Shigo, a senior Nigerian army officer, said late Monday while presenting them to authorities in Borno that 350 hostages have been held in the Sambisa forest, a hideout for the extremist group which launched an insurgency in 2009 where the forest is. The 209 children, 135 women and 6 men appeared exhausted in their worn-out clothes. Some of the girls had babies believed to have been born from forced marriages. One of the hostages had 7 children and spoke of how she and others couldn't escape because of their children. The army said the hostages were rescued during a days-long military operation in Sambisa Forest, which was once a bustling forest reserve that stretches along the border with Cameroon and Niger, but now serves as an enclave from where Boko Haram and its breakaway factions carry out attacks that also target people and security forces in neighboring countries. The freed hostages were transported in trucks to the Borno State Government House, where authorities will look after them until they go home. The Nigerian army said that some extremists were killed during the rescue operation and their makeshift houses were destroyed.
Well, a young Ghanaian boy has been officially declared as the youngest male artist in the whole world by Guinness record, and we are going to know more in the following report.
Ghanaian artist Armakain Amatifiu is calling on parents across Ghana and Africa to nurture their children's talents from a young age, highlighting the impact this can have on their future success. This appeal follows the recent achievement of 1-year-old Ace Liam, who broke a Guinness World Record, showcasing the potential young children possess when given the opportunity to explore their abilities. Ace Liam's groundbreaking achievement was announced at a press conference. His journey to the record book began with an ambitious attempt to mimic his mother's daily activities in her studio. Chantel Egam, Ace Liam's mother, shared her experience, stating, "He paints when he sees her painting. If she has her set up, he will pull his chair and easily come and sit beside her." She described how even as a 6-month-old, Ace began blending and spreading paint on a canvas, and by 11 months he was using a paintbrush. Ace Liam's milestone surprised many Ghanaians who were skeptical about 1-year-old's ability to create meaningful art. However, Amatifiu views Ace Liam's feat as an important milestone. He said that all children are like that. They come into the world as artists and scientists and engineers, and it is the adults who stop them from maintaining this. He added that he will give all the credit to the home environment and particularly to his mother, Kuku, who created the enabling environment for the gifts this child has brought into the world to flourish. Guinness World Records recognized Ace Liam following its exhibition in Accra from January 18th to 20th, 2024, breaking the 31-year-old record held by Dante Lam, who achieved the milestone at age 3 in 2003.
Well, with this, we come to the end of this episode of our program Africa Today. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.